All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how I got my blog to 28,000 users per month using only content posting and no backlinks. So first of all, here's the website. You can see it's an actual website. It's under my brand Nefarious Racing. It's a side project of mine. And you can see here, these are the articles that I was posting. If you scroll down, there's some YouTube videos, some blog posts, and so on. And now if we go into SEMrush, which is the SEO keyword analyzer tool, I've thrown the URL in here, nefariousracing.com, and you can see here organic traffic is around 28,000 users a month. And we can verify this in Google Analytics. If we go here, this is the GA4 account for this website. And if we scroll down, you can see first of all that the date range is for August 2023, and it had a total of 27,000 users per month, 25,500 of which came from organic search. And if I set this to September, you can see here that we've already had about 15,000 users on the website, almost 15,000. So it'll probably hit 30 this month. So you can see that this is real and this is actually happening. So now I'm going to show you how I did this. So first of all, the point that I need to make here is that you need to find the thing to blog about. Now, I was already interested in this particular topic because cars are a hobby of mine. And so this was an area I was already interested in and somewhat knew about. However, in order to do this, what I would highly recommend you do is get a tool like SEMrush, because it's going to allow you to research these things and find out what you need to know. So I'm going to put my affiliate link for SEMrush below. So if you click that link, I'm going to get a small commission if you sign up, but it's going to allow you to get this and use it. And SEMrush is a really good tool that I use. So that's why I recommend it. So basically, in order to do this, what I did is I started looking around at a few different car things. Obviously, I've been involved in this for a while, but what I did is I came across, let's say, coilovers, which is the thing that I was blogging about on the website, along with wheels. This is an example of one. So coilovers are a type of suspension, for those of you who don't know, mainly for performance. And what I identified is that it's somewhat difficult, but I believe that I could rank for this keyword. And I noticed that it was getting a decent amount of searches per month. And if we go to like the total volume of different variations, it's obviously quite a lot. I mean, 600,000 searches. So there was definitely people looking for this. And so I figured that this would be something I could rank for. Now, this was a bit of a test, I admit. So I was testing this out as I was doing it. But this is the thing I decided to go after and see if it was going to work. So once you've got the topic that you actually want to try and blog about and try and rank the website for, what you need to do first of all is start with keyword research. And for this, you're going to need a tool like SEMrush. So that's why I recommend you get it. Again, my affiliate link is in the description below. I highly recommend you get SEMrush because it's going to allow you to do the keyword research like I'm going to show you here, to be able to even see what you should be doing in order to get the website to rank. If you don't have this information, you're going to be flying blind and it's just not going to work. You're not going to know what's going on, which keywords you should be going after, and so on. So just get SEMrush and then you can do this. Now, if you already have a different tool like Ahrefs or whatever, that will more or less work for the same thing. So that's fine as well. So what you would want to do is, first of all, identify the main keyword. So in this case, the keyword that I was going after is coilovers. If we go after the coilovers side, I also did wheels later, but that's a separate thing. It's pretty much the same process. And basically, you need to identify the main keyword, which is typically the one that gets the most searches. So that's what I did here. I identified the word coilovers as the main keyword. So from here, what you would want to do is see the different variations and also the related keywords. So you would want to open the keyword variations, which is going to open a new tab. And what I'm also going to do is I am also going to open this is the keyword magic tool. I'm going to open it again and go for related. So this is going to give us two lists here. So one's going to give us broad match of the keyword that we typed in, and the other one's going to give us related keywords. So this is more like a broad overview of different variations of it. And this is going to stick specifically to like coilovers and different variations of the keyword coilover. This broad match one is going to give us the different brands and other different areas that we want to target. So basically what you want to do with these two lists is you want to now start identifying the easiest keywords that you can go after. So the way you do that is you would click KD, keyword difficulty, and filter them from lowest to highest. So what you do here is, again, KD, lowest to highest. There's one other thing I recommend you open, and that's you go back to the keyword overview and you open up the questions, because this is also a really good section to go after all of these questions. So we'll open that as well. And we'll filter this also by KD. And so what's going to happen here now is you're going to have 3 lists. One is going to be about the specific coilovers keyword related to the keyword coilovers. Then you're going to have broad match, also relating to coilovers, but more broad. You can see here it's giving us different car models now. And you're going to have questions, also starting from 0, working your way up. So now, basically what I did on this blog is I just took a list of all of these and I started going after them, starting from the easiest one going up. So for instance, we've got here BC coilover covers. Okay, I didn't do that one. I didn't do this one either. This is potentially something I could go after. Don't forget that I did this back in November last year, so it's been a while. A couple of new keywords will have popped up. But basically, you'd go through this list and start going through these keywords. So for example, BC racing coilovers, these are still going for covers, but you could definitely blog about that and then sell that or link to that. You can go, it's starting to give us brands. So a lot of these will cross over from this list to that other list, which is fine because you're going to get brands here as well if we keep scrolling. I know I saw them before, but basically you're going to get a list of all of these different keywords. So what you want to do is now make a list of them. So open an Excel file, Google Sheets, whatever. Start pasting all the ones that are actually related to what you want to type or post about and make them into the list. So you would add this one as a list. In the list, you can add, these are all BC Racing coilover covers. Scroll down, we've got FA5 coilovers, that's a brand, so you would add that. You can add Subaru Impreza, oh no, that's exhaust, sorry. You could do Raceland versus BC coilovers, you would add that. BC Racing Extreme Low, you can do green coilovers, you could do rocker coilovers, you could do Fortune 500 coilovers. You would add all these keywords to a list. That's literally what I did, and make a note of the keyword difficulty. And so once you've got a list of them, same here, you could do like WRX coilovers for the different years, SCI coilovers, Mazda Speed 3, Honda Accord, Honda Civic, 10th gen, exactly this exact one. And what you would want to do is just put them into groups of related keywords. So for instance, you would have like BC Racing coilover covers. You wouldn't want to make a post about each of these individual keywords like BC coilover covers or BC Racing coilover covers. You would make that as one post. You want to group them into different posts that you can post about that are related to the same thing. And then what you would want to do is go and make posts about each of these groups, starting from the lowest KD and just going up. And so eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start ranking for KD 0 keywords, so the 0 difficulty. Then you'll start ranking for like 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, and then it's going to start going up, and then you can start tackling the more difficult ones. So for example, if you scroll down the list, you're going to find that the more difficult ones are going to be more traffic. And so as you start ranking for more and more of these very easy keywords, you can see all these, look how many there are for 0. And I'm basically ranking for all of these, and this is how I did it. So you go through that list and eventually you'll get to the point where you're at like KD 20. So I'm just going to filter that because otherwise it's going to take forever. But like you'll get to the point where you've crossed the very easy mark and now you're into the easy mark and then you're into the possible. So if we go easy, you'll see here, this would be like the next batch. So best Miata coilovers, which I rank for. Then you got Bilstein coilovers, C10 coilovers, coilover, and you wouldn't want to do that because unless you're actually a shop offering that, but you could do like coilover tools, coilovers for Civic, coilovers for Mustang, Honda Civic coilovers. So you basically have all of these keywords. Godspeed keywords, which is a brand, and I'm just going to open these to show you that I'm actually number 1 for all these. But you would go down this list and you keep doing it. Keep posting about all of these different topics. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start showing up for all of them. So you would go through that list and you start ranking for more and more keywords as you go higher and higher up the list. And so by posting more and more blogs, you would want to go through and do this. So I'm actually going to show you this on my website. If we go to my blog, you can actually see how I've done this. So I'll show you from the oldest posts going down. So if we go to an older page, let's start from, this is page 2. I'm just going to chuck in, I think it was page 13. I've literally got hundreds of posts on this site now. So yeah, so you can see here, I started with this one because I wanted to rank for 10 coilovers. That was one of the main keywords I wanted to rank for. And then I started going solo works coilovers. What's the best coilover brands? Because that's another big one. How long do coilovers last? Are coilovers worth it? Are coilovers universal? These are all questions that I found on this list. So you can see if you scroll down this, how long do, this is a specific brand, but you get the point. How long do coilovers last? How to adjust coilovers? How long do coilovers take to settle? You would want to write posts about all of these, or at least address them in specific points. And so as you go down, you're going to rank for more and more of these keywords. And so like if you were to look at the keywords my website actually ranks for, you would see that it's ranking for a good chunk of those keywords. I'm actually going to show you by setting the KD from 0 and up to show you that that's what happens. And so that's the process you want to use. You want to just start from the 0 difficulty keywords and just work your way up. And if you do this properly and you post for all of these different keywords, you're going to start showing up for all of them. So I'll show you now. I'll filter this and you'll see what I'm saying. So this doesn't exactly show every single keyword, but it'll show you a good chunk of them. And then you get to the point where you're starting to show up for like 82 difficulty. You can see there. Okay, so you can see here now, that's a wheel model, but you can see that I'm showing up there. JNC wheels, I'm showing up for that. Then you got Mazda 3 coilovers, I'm showing up for that. Mazda 3 this one I'm ranking a bit lower, but it's showing me in the SERP feature for that one. You got the different wheels. And so we got BC Racing coilovers for the specific WRX model, which is this blog. And if we keep going down, you can see how like Racing coilovers, I rank number 5. These ones I rank 71, so that one could be pushed up. But you can see here again, best coilovers for S2000, I'm number 2. That's KD0. You can see our niche wheels, good quality. I'm number 1, KD0. And you can see if you scroll down the list, you keep going, it's starting to rank for all these keywords. And like the more you go down, it'll get more and more difficulty being raised, and it's showing for more and more keywords. So that just gives you like an overview of how that works. And eventually what happens is you get to the point where you are ranking for very high KD terms. So if I go into my actual position tracking for this project and actually take a look at all the keywords that I'm ranking for this, that I'm actually tracking, I'll show you what that looks like in the report. So what I'm trying to show you with all this is an overview of the strategy of how you would do it. So you can see here, if I go to these keywords, you can see the KD and you can see my position. You can see these are all number 1 position for all of these keywords. So you start ranking for the easier ones and you start ranking for the more difficult ones. And you can see if I scroll down the list here, you can see there's just tons and tons of them. They're all number 1. And there's a few you see now these are getting difficult. These are now possible in the 30s range and I'm number 1 for them as well. They keep going, keep going, keep going. 46, I'm number 3 for a 46 difficulty keyword. And that's how you do it. This is 100 keywords all in the top 3. So that's the overall strategy of this. Now you won't rank for every single keyword on page 1 just because it's KD0. You've seen the fact that some of my keywords as well are not necessarily ranking high even for KD0, but you just need a bunch of them to establish topical authority about that specific topic. And then you start ranking for harder ones. As you see, some of these are in the 40s, 30s, and 40s range, and I'm on page 1 for them. 49, I'm on number 6. So that's that. So now that we've discussed the strategy and you get the idea of what you should be doing, how do you actually go about doing this? So what I did when I did this is I took that list of keywords that I wanted to rank for, and I'm just going to use my list here that I'm tracking as an example. You would take this exact keyword and you would go into Google, and you can also use SEMrush. If you open the keyword in SEMrush, it's also going to give you an idea. Go into Google and see what is actually on page 1 for that keyword. So let's take Godspeed coilovers as an example, or you can open it here go into SEMrush and then type it in. And this will give you an overview of that specific keyword. And it's going to give you the results on page 1. So here you go, SERP analysis. This is what is on page 1. So you can see Godspeed's website is number 1. That matches as well. Sometimes they won't match exactly, but typically they will be pretty close. You got Amazon, then my website. So here we've got eBay, Godspeed again, then we got Amazon, then we got Godspeed again, then we got YouTube, ECS, tuning, coiloverkits.com. So this is what's on page 1. So basically the idea behind this is you need to see what is showing on page 1 and then make that happen. So what you would want to do is open all of these things. You don't need to open eBay because we all know what's on there, but open these websites and see what they're actually got showing on them, on the pages. So what are they ranking for? So for this keyword, you can see here that if we look at this, this is an online store selling products. This is an online store selling products. You can see here that they got products here and the coilovers. This is also, now obviously these are the actual brands shops, but again, this is an online store selling products. And this is an online store selling products. So basically what this is telling us is Google wants to see an online store that's selling products in order to show it on page 1, because it thinks that that's what people are looking for when they type in this specific keyword. So what you need to do basically is fulfill that search intent by being a store that sells products. Now, there is a YouTube video showing here, because sometimes the search intent's not 100% and Google will give some variations. It also is saying that my blog ranks for that as well. In some cases, it's not showing up for me right now. Sometimes you'll get that depending on where you are, because I believe I'm showing from a AU IP at the moment, Australian IP, which will show slightly different results. But anyway, you get the idea. What you need to do is find out what's on page 1 so that you can give that to page 1. So if it's an online store, basically you would want to be an online store. Now, again, you can rank a blog on this, even if it's an online store like I am doing. But you need to find out what's on page 1, and then you need to find out what are they actually writing about. So in order to demonstrate this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a different keyword, because this one's not a great example. But let's go, for instance, and we'll just pick Mazda Speed 3 coilovers. And let's see what's on page 1 for that keyword. So we've got a bunch of online stores. Okay. We have some videos. We have these questions. We have my blog. And we have more online stores. So again, Google is trying to show online stores, but it's also showing videos here about this. Now, let's say, for instance, you were trying to rank a blog and you were searching this. Now, obviously, you can't compete with the online stores. But what you could see is the fact that my blog is ranking for this. So you would open my blog, right, as well as these other results. Take a look at what they're actually showing for. Why is BC Racing number 1, right? Why are these guys number 2? And so you would analyze these search results. So you can see here that they rank for this. They've got the keyword here. Let's see if that's an H1. Unfortunately, it's just disappeared on me. Oh no, here it is. So that's an H1, and the H1's got the keyword Mazda Speed 3 coilovers in it. And then they have content about Mazda Speed 3 coilovers. Now, they're focusing on the specific model. Obviously, that's Raceland's model of coilover. However, you can see the point. They've got some content here. They got the H1 with the keyword in it. And then they have reviews, and they got the actual product. So now the second one is BC Racing. And again, they've got Mazda coilovers, which is very interesting. They're not ranking for the specific page. They're ranking for Mazda in general. But the reason why is because it's not very high keyword difficulty, and so Google is just giving that to them. But you can see that they've got the keyword Mazda and coilovers in their H1 as well. Is this an H1? Maybe it's not actually. Maybe it isn't formatted correctly. So they could actually do better by doing that. But anyway, And then these guys as well, again, Mazda Speed 3 coilovers. So basically what this is telling us is you need to have that keyword, obviously, in the H1 and obviously in the meta title. That one's getting cut off. This one says Mazda. This one says Mazda. My one says Mazda. Now, the reason why mine ranks, obviously, is because I've done a better job at doing the on-page optimization by making sure I've got the exact keyword everywhere. But you would go in and you would analyze this. And so if you're trying to rank a blog, you would want to look at the blog that's showing up, which is mine in this case. And you would want to go through it and figure out what is on this blog that's making it rank. So I've got the headline, the H1 headline with the keyword. I have an image. My blog is talking about the best coilovers for Mazda Speed 3. So you got a question then, does this fulfill the search intent? So the search intent is somebody looking for Mazda Speed 3 coilovers, probably looking to buy them. And SEMrush will actually tell you this. If you type the keyword into SEMrush, it will give you the search intent as well. And you can see here both informational and transactional. So the reason I'm ranking is because it's informational and partially transactional because I'm recommending the best product. So the search intent is being fulfilled. The H1 headline is being fulfilled. The meta title has the thing, so it's being fulfilled, has the keyword. I've got an image. I've got a lot of content. I've got a table of contents here. I've got an H2 with the keyword coilovers from Mazda Speed 3. I've got another image. I'm talking about Mazda Speed 3 relating to coilovers. You see here I'm talking more. I've got another H2. So you would need to go through and analyze what is actually on these pages to make them rank. How many products are they listing? How many H2s and H3s do they have with the keyword in them? How many words are in the article? And for that, you would basically want to copy all the words. I'll show you. Copy the words. Paste them into a word counter. So wordcounter.net is the one that I use because it's just easiest. Paste them in there. See how many words are in there, which is 1,800. See how many images are in there, how many headlines, how many products, you know, what they're actually saying. And then you would need to go and do better. So you would need to do like at least the same number of images, ideally more. If they've got 6 products, you'd make 7. If they got a table of contents, you would put a table of contents. You'd basically just try and up them in every single way. So you would try and make a post that's better than my post if you were trying to outrank me here now. Good luck with that, but you get the point. And so you would need to do that for every single keyword. Figure out what's on page 1. What exactly is on that page. So the angle they're taking about that content. So a lot of these are online shops. So if you wanted to start an e-com store selling coilovers, you could do that. And then you would have to optimize the pages accordingly based on what's on page 1 for these keywords. You need to pay attention to how many images they have, you know, how many headlines they have, what keywords are in the headline, what are they writing about, you know, what products are they showing? Are they showing multiple products like mine? And that will allow you to post the correct content on your website to actually show up for these keywords. So you need to take the right angle. So then what you would want to do once you've done that, so let's say you're posting blogs like mine, what you would want to do is come through the blogs every now and then, like once a month, and then optimize them to link to the correct pages. So interlinking is a key component about SEO, and I've talked about this before, but you need to make sure you're linking to the correct pages to help the correct relevance go to the right places. So these keywords that you link in between pages actually tell Google what each of the pages are about. So what you would want to do is, like, let's say, for instance, I got a link here to the main coilover page. You would want to make sure to go through and add all of these and all the opportunities you could. So if you scroll through, you'll probably find more here linking to like the separate products. Typically, you can see I linked the KW to the KW coilovers post. You can see I've got Fortune Auto 500 series linking to that particular blog, the Fortune Auto review, because that's what I want to rank for that keyword. And you would go through and add all of these keywords to all of your posts. So you need to make sure you do that. And so by making the blog posts or the pages, if you're doing an e-com store, that are targeting the correct search intent, are optimized correctly, are better than what's already on page 1, and are interlinked correctly, and you do that across the entire thing, because what I did here is I went for every keyword I could find to do with coilovers. That's how you establish topical authority in that topic, and then you start ranking for all of those different keywords for that. So you need to start with the easy ones, work your way up. That's basically an overview of how I did this. This is the thing. What I'm showing you here is how I did this with my blog, and I just went through all of that list of keywords I showed you, and I just made posts about all of those different topics. Now, one other thing I want to make a note of is once you're writing this content, there's a couple of tools you can use to make your life easier. So AI is really good now. Back when I was doing this, there was no AI, and I manually wrote all of these posts myself. But since then, ChatGPT and all these other tools came out, and they're actually very good. So one I would like to recommend is this one called ZimWriter, where this one is actually a very good tool for writing SEO blogs. So this one can do a bunch of things where it can analyze other people's posts and then like rewrite it for you using AI. It can do it based on the URL. It can do it based on the headlines you give it, and it'll spit out content that's pretty good. So I would recommend checking this out. There'll be a link below this video to ZimWriter if you want to check it out. It's like $10 a month, and you just need to connect it to the ChatGPT API. But it's actually quite good, and I use it now for a lot of things. It's not perfect. I usually write it and then go through and edit the thing it's spat out, but it does a pretty good job. So I thought to just give you that tip as well, because that's going to make your life a lot easier and quicker writing content. But that's it. That's the tactic I use to make this blog rank. And now it's getting about 30,000 users a month almost. This month will probably cross that. And you can see the traffic is coming, and it's actually going up in the rankings as well. If we actually throw it into SEMrush, you can have a look here that the organic keywords is ranking for 12,000 keywords now. And you can see this huge spike that happened almost a year later. So I started this back in November, and I posted up until March every single day up until the end of March, and then I left it, and then I made a few tweaks to this website at the beginning of this month. And you can see apparently either what I've done has worked, and there also seems to have been a couple of Google updates in the meantime, and that's just shot it up in the last month or so for all of these keywords, and it's just got a whole ton more. So basically that's what happens. Like over a long term, it'll just start ranking for more and more keywords, and in a year or so you're going to start seeing it rank for a bunch of stuff as long as you've done this correctly. So that's it. I hope you found this helpful. I've actually got a whole SEO course on YouTube, which is going to show you how to do all the technical things like writing the meta titles, H1 headlines, all these other things I talk about, search intent, and all these, basically everything to do with SEO. I'm going to put a link to that below so you can watch all those videos, which I highly recommend if you are trying to SEO a website. And if you have any questions, just post them in the comments below, and I will actually answer them. So just post them there, and I'll do my best to help you out. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.